Hi, so I just made it back from the food pantry. This is a very, very tight month for me, and so you take the kicks where you can get them, but you also learn from them, and you learned how to be frugal. Well, I made it right through till now, and didn't need to reach out for a handout. However, I did frequent one of our food pantries to get a little bit of help, and I'm telling you, they are amazing. They actually gave me too much. The last time I needed help, I went, it was in December, it was near Christmas. And I have a wagon that they literally filled right to the top with groceries. And I had to pull it from the pantry all the way home, which is a couple of miles. And the snowplow wasn't doing its job at that point in time. It was like overbearingly full of snow, the roads. And so I had a hell of a time. Anyhow, I did go today, and I'm not ashamed to say it. You know, if you think you're better than me because I utilize the food pantry, you know what? Blow it out your ass, because you know what? Every day of my life, I thank the good Lord up above for having another day on this earth. And so, if He chooses to give me a little blessing with a little bit of help, I'm going to be willing to take it. And it's going to happen to all of us eventually. Eventually, you're going to need help. I don't care who you are, how much money you have. There's going to become a time when you might be able to wipe your own ass. So you know what? You don't look down on anyone. Anyway, I want to show you what I got. I'm very thrilled at the stuff that I did get. They wanted to offer me a lot more, but I don't need a lot. I just need a few little things, and they did have them. So I'm going to show you what I got. So it's quite a bit of food, and I'm very pleased at what they gave me. I'm very grateful for it. I did need a little bit of help this month, and I'm okay with accepting it. So if they're willing to give it, I'm willing to accept it, and through the good grace of God, right? All right. So the first thing, they did have a lot of cakes and cookies, and maybe I should go on this side. So they did have a lot of cakes and cookies and things, but I have to be very careful of the carbs and the sugars because of my health. So this is what I picked out. And they have, the food pantry is basically where you walk in and you shop. They tell you how many of each item you can have, but you're allowed to choose, which is what I like. I like that. So okay, we're going to start with the carbs, right? So I don't normally get bread that is not like sourdough or a seed bread, right? But every once in a while you have a craving, and every once in a while you have company, and maybe you want to make a sub, right? So I got these sub buns, and I'm going to freeze them. Yeah, I'm going to freeze them. So this is a good deal. So there's 4 sub buns in here. That's pretty good. And then the cakes and cookies I didn't want to take, but I seen the muffins, and I thought, damn, it would be good first thing in the morning. So blueberry muffins. Yeah, that's what I got. So 6 of them. It's only me. So one, that's a good 6 days, right? That's a good 6 days. So that was that. Then I love my cereal, but I only like certain cereals, and I do like the fiber. So I love the Shreddies. And this is pretty expensive in the store. So a Shreddies I got. And then I have to put my glasses on to read this. Okay. Crackers. Normally I make my own crackers. I make gluten-free crackers, but every once in a while you have company. I mean, I am isolated at this point in time, but you never know, right? So I got some crackers, veggie crackers. Tea. I love tea, and I love my coffee. I love my coffee a lot, but they had tea. So I got this Dreamland tea. Now I'm trying to see what's in it. Strawberries, melons, and hibiscus, I believe. So hibiscus is amazing to lower your blood pressure, by the way. Okay. And then I got lasagna noodles, right? And they were giving 2 packets, so I got 2 packets because, I mean, you can save these. They don't go bad. And, I mean, there's going to come a time where I am going to have company and maybe want to make some lasagna. Okay. So those are the carbs. Then I was given a choice between ice cream and hummus. And of course, I picked the hummus. I love hummus. Okay, so hummus. Now the vegetables, okay? Look at this massive bag of the green beans. Now, I mean, it's a food pantry, right? So when it starts to get soft, they You know, they say, okay, we'll take as many as you want. Well, I took one. This is big enough for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak it in baking soda. I'm going to chop them up. I'm going to put them in freezer bags, put them in the freezer in individual sizes. So for each meal, each one, and I'm on OMAD, right? So one meal a day. So a little packet of these. So that's going to give me an awful lot of vegetables. Okay, protein. Oh wait, one more vegetable, two more vegetables. Cucumber, right? Cucumbers are, they're not an expensive price, but these are good. And so they're good in salad. So I got one. That's all I needed was one. There was a bin of potatoes, and you could take a bag and pick as many as you need. And I did. I don't need a lot. I did just drop them all over the floor. Anyway, I don't need a lot, but potatoes are good to put in my soups and stuff when I don't have macaroni noodles. And I always have macaroni noodles. So, but these are nice potatoes, nice size. So I've got one, two, three, four, five, six potatoes. 6 potatoes will last me a long time, okay? 6 potatoes. Okay, so let's get to the protein, because protein is where I have a hard time, because protein's expensive. Meat is very expensive. So I got a thing of hamburger, frozen hamburger, a thing of marbled cheese. It is what it is. And a dozen eggs. Yeah, a dozen eggs. And eggs are always good. Eggs are always good. So that's my protein. Tea and coffee, I did get these little bag of tea bags, which is good. I do keep them out. I do drink them. Okay, so now we're going to get into the grains, right? So I did get, this loaf had been frozen. And I forget, it's a grains sourdough, right? So sourdough bread it's perfect for you. So I'm going to top it up. I might even have some tonight with my supper, maybe one slice. And I'm going to cut it up, and I'm going to put it in freezer bags and in the freezer, and that will last me a long time. And when the bread gets dry, I don't throw it out. I don't throw it out. I make, what do you call it? Breadcrumbs. I make breadcrumbs for like stuffings and things like that. I will dry the bread, chop it up, and put it away and make stuffing with it. And you can eat stuffing without a turkey. You can make stuffing and then just put it in the freezer and have it with a soup, right? On top of your soup with a little dollop of sour cream. So that was the grains. Then I am going to try to make red lentil muffins. And apparently they're really healthy, but you got to take the red lentils. You put them in the grinder, you powder them, they go to a powder, and then you basically use it the same as you would use it for flour. But I also make soup with these, right? So these are amazing. And I do have a few bags, but you know, in the times that we're in, I'm being frugal, and I did take these, even though I won't utilize them today or tomorrow or maybe even next week. I will have them when I need them, right? So lentils, and then rice. Be very, very careful with rice. If you are cooking rice, right? When I cook rice, I only cook what I need. I will use the half a cup of rice, and it makes a whole cup of rice, right? So I don't make any more than I need or that I'm going to utilize at that time, because this has got arsenic in it, okay? And when you cook it and you cool it, okay? I mean, look this up. Don't take my word for it. Look it all up. If you leave it out and reheat it, okay, you're activating that. And so I choose not to do that. I don't save my rice at all. I don't. And I will not. And also this can make you pretty sick. You'll get nausea and things like that. It'll almost be like food poisoning. Pretty strong. It's got arsenic in it. Think about it. Arsenic is a poison. Yeah. Think about it. Right? So be careful with that. Okay, now we're going to go to the canned goods. Now, we're allowed like 1 can of each or something. So I love mushroom soup, and it's good on pork chops. It's good on like potatoes. I absolutely love it. Got 2 cans of that. Who doesn't like brown beans with their eggs? Yeah, so brown beans. My favorite bean of all, or pea of all, is the chickpea, because you can make, you can use the chickpea water for baking. You can use it in place of an egg. I think I have a video posted where it's like 2 tablespoons of the chickpea water is equal to 1 egg. Okay, so, but look it up, look back on the recipe. But chickpeas are amazing to keep, and they're full of protein and full of, I think it's a B vitamin. So this is a good, it is actually the B vitamins, yeah. So B6 and folate and B12 you can get in this. So this can is, you know, it's a can of nutrition. It really is. Okay, we did the beans, okay? And these I always, utilize these. I'm always using spaghetti sauce and tomatoes, always. So I got a can of pasta sauce. And then I got a can of diced tomatoes because I love these. I eat them with my eggs. I put them in my soup. Like if I have a meal and it's kind of bland, I'll put some tomatoes on it. And I like tomatoes that have the spices in it. So that's that. Then, as a little treat, and I did get one of these from the lady from a church, local church, and not the last church that I frequented, but this is an agency that I used to do volunteer work from. And they're a wonderful church, and she did help me out the other day with some canned goods and things like that. And so I absolutely thank her. And she did give me one of these yesterday, but I seen this and I thought, I like that. I like it on spaghetti. Usually I put the nutritional yeast on, but you can mix that with this, right? Parmesan cheese, the powdered stuff. Yeah, just in case. And if you know my channel, you know I love my spices. I love everything hot. And this is a Mexican sauce. They had 3 different sauces there, and I could pick one. And there was ones that were like in a bigger container. And I thought, you know what? Bigger is not always best. So I took the small one. Okay. So that is what I got from the food pantry. And what I do now is I'm going to soak my vegetables. I'm going to soak them in a pot in some baking soda, and then later on today I will cut them up and put them in freezer bags. I also am going to take my food, and I'm going to turn you around here and I'm going to show you my cupboard. So I have mason jars, and what I do is I use my mason jars to put my food. I'm in an apartment building where not everybody is clean. Not everybody puts their garbage out. And it's an old building. And so, you know, there's little critters that live in the wall. Now, my unit is fairly clean because I have no food laying out. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you just one instance of what I do. And I mean, maybe you can adapt your pantry to this, right? I would love to have an old-fashioned kitchen with an old-fashioned pantry. It's like a dream. It's like a dream. Okay, so I'm going to take possibly this. We'll take 2 of them, and I'm going to cut. There is something I have to say. So after I did get a cab to go down to the food pantry, and the cab it wasn't that expensive, but it sure as hell wasn't cheap. And so I'm very low budget right now, very low, like scraping, right? And so it cost me, it was $17 to get there. Now, if you take $17 2 ways, okay, think about it, that's like $34. And that's a pretty big chunk out of my budget. I can't afford it. So I thought, you know what? I got the cab there. He was a wonderful driver, a wonderful company. And I thought, you know what? I got to save that $17. So I was going to walk home. Now, the food pantry is quite a piece from where I live. And I have a wagon, one of those big wagons. And I mean, it's a wonderful little contraption. It's great and carried everything. But the distance was way too far. And so I was going to call the cab. And I don't have time on my phone at this point. I mean, I do now, but I didn't then. And so I was going to call the cab company, and I didn't have time. So there was a garage down the road. And I went to that garage to see if they would call a cab for me. And I got chatting with a fella that was standing there. It looked like he was waiting for his vehicle to be fixed. And so, nice looking gentleman. Anyway, yeah, so I thought, well, so we struck up a conversation, and I was talking to him about, going to the food bank, and I wanted to know how to get back from where I was, because I was going to attempt to walk it. But then I thought, no. Anyway, after he told me how far it was, I thought, damn, I can't do that. So I was going to turn around. I was going to go back to the food pantry and ask them if they'd call me a cab. Well, he was standing there looking at me, kind of thinking. He says, just wait a minute. He said, just a minute. And he went back inside the garage. So I waited. I mean, yeah, I've got nothing else to do, right? So I waited and went kind of curious. And he said to me, just wait a minute. I'm going to give you a ride. I was like, what? You're going to give me a ride? I don't know if you watched my video the other day, but I attempted to get even an establishment who is very God-fearing in this area to give me a ride yesterday, and the other day, and they turned me down. And then, I was just hitting one closed door after another. And then this fella actually invited me to get in his truck, and he was going to give me a ride home. And at first you would get scared. You would think, geez, what's going to happen? You're a mass murderer, right? But he was such a kind hearted gentleman, and you could read it in his voice. The conversation was respectful, the whole bit. Anyway, he did. He gave me a ride. We get across the road to his vehicle. Just wait. I gotta figure out how to get this in here. So we go across the road to his car. Or it's not a car, it's a truck. Oh my God. It's a truck. It's the friggin' most beautiful truck I've ever frickin' seen. First of all, we put the wagon in the back of the truck, and I'm thinking, geez, he's such a sweet person, such a wonderful young man. Well, he's younger than me, I think. I think he's younger than me. He looked it anyway, but he had the gray hair, but he was younger than me. Anyway, he helped me put the wagon in the back of the truck, and he said, yeah, he says, it's not that far. I'll take you, just drop you off. And he said, he asked me where I lived, and I told him I was going to walk from the grocery store. He could drop me off in the complex, across the road, and I would walk home. And he said, nope, if I'm going all the way down there to take you there, I'm taking you right home. Right? And I thought, oh my God, what sweet. Nobody's like that anymore. Nobody. Well, sure as hell not with me. Okay. So anyway, I get in the truck. I get in the truck, and I'm floored. Not only floored because somebody actually was kind enough to offer me a ride home where I didn't have to dig through my panties, right? And take time out of, I'm sure he was waiting for his vehicle, so he took time out of his schedule to do something for a complete stranger. So it kind of put the faith back in the good Lord. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to frequent a church ever again. I will never step in a church again, except maybe when I'm dead. Okay. But on the way to the garage, right, I was desperate, and I was praying to my good Lord, my divine. And your divine is your divine, but my divine. And I was saying, God, I could use some help. Send me an angel. I could use some help right now, right? And what happened? If you ask, you shall receive. And what did I receive? He's as close to an angel as I'm going to meet in this day and age, right? So a real live angel. Anyway, so I believe that even that little prayer, walking to that garage to make that phone call, I think the big guy was listening. So anyway, so I get in the truck, and the truck is... The truck is freaking beautiful. Oh my God, and it's immaculate. So it's quite obvious that he takes care of his belongings. He was well kept, he was well spoken, he was polite, he was respectful. He wasn't a bad looker, you know what I'm saying? So he had all those things going on for him. And he had the most beautiful truck. It had leather seats. And I mean, leather seats that were like a chocolate colored brown. Oh my God, it was such a beautiful truck. So beautiful. Anyway, he gave me a ride home, lifted my cart off the back for me, and I didn't do this in front of him, okay? But I did come up to my unit. I brought my stuff in after I thanked him profusely. I came up to my unit and I literally almost broke down in tears. I almost broke down in tears. I can't believe that there are people that are that sweet, honest to God. And for someone they don't even know, someone with white hair, someone who could be like, you know, a bum, right? Basically a bum. So knowing that there are people in the world that still care, there's still that element of giving a shit about your fellow human beings, right? So the turmoil that's in the world right now, it doesn't make any sense, because all you have to do is treat each other with respect. None of this like, you know, wanting to hurt other people physically, mentally, psychologically, financially, okay? Why? For what point? And if you're belonging to a big establishment that, you know, praises itself for being so God-fearing and caring and loving, and you know, I learned this at an early age. I was raised in that era where the nuns, the church had a lot of power. And they still do. They still do. Not in this house. Not in this house. Ever again. Because when you turn to someone for help, it's usually when you're at your lowest. I wouldn't ask anybody for help unless I was really struggling. I wouldn't, because I've been there, done that, and I'm a strong woman. And watch my video and you'll see the previous video. And you'll see, you know, like, someone could punch me in the mouth and lose all my teeth. I'll pick up those damn teeth and I'm going to carry on. You know what I'm saying? I might give a couple of punches back though, you know what I'm saying? So life throws things at us. Life throws things at us, and I have health problems, and I have financial problems, and I have environmental problems, and I mean, I can't even keep up my fitness because of the safety factor. I need to find someone to walk with to have that safety factor, okay? So there's a lot of shit that I'm dealing with, and one individual out of millions of people, the good Lord sent my way, and he helped me. And he helped me for nothing. He wanted nothing at all. No money, no nothing. I'm shocked. But I'm also very, very, very thankful. Anyhow, this is what I'm going to do. And tons of lids. And so this is how I store my food. And I store my food like this because, like I said, it's cleaner and it's easier. And you know what you have. Okay, so I don't want to make this video long. This is basically just thanking the good Lord up above for sending that kind individual my way to help me. So you know who you are, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will always remember your kindness. Thank you so very much. So namaste, and I shall see the rest of you on the next video. Namaste. Bye.